Well, good evening, everybody. So, part two. Now, this information is about something which Boris Johnson stamped down hard on. So did many fans as well, up and down the country, and it's back. It's the European Super League. Yeah. If you remember back in the day, there were 6 teams who wanted to break away and form a league where there was no relegation, and they basically would be a closed community. Well, they've since updated that. There will now be teams who can be added in. And I said at the time that they didn't have enough backing behind them. They needed at least 5 or more banks to be able to fund this. Reason why is because being a closed shop, they were going to be playing each other in this league for a naughty amount of prize money. Well, I've heard whispers while I've been watching Italian football and Spanish football. Now, the whispers are stating teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus, Inter Milan, and others. They weren't too sure about the German teams, but PSG, they were mentioned as well. Now, what would that mean? 6 teams from the Premier League. And as I said at the time, what normally happens is, from a championship, you get the champions and you get 2 other teams. Now, if this does happen, what's going to happen is an implosion within the Premier League, our Premier League. Because Richard Masters and those down at Premier League HQ give out a stern warning when they slapped their hands with a £3 million fine. And they said that it would be a case of expulsion from the Premier League. And I said at the time, and you can go back and check this as well, these teams don't care. They just want money, more money, greed and trophies. That's all they want. And let's be honest, the way the Premier League works, a lot of clubs aren't happy. A lot of clubs in the Premier League have had deductions of points. some more than others. And to those smaller clubs, your likes of Brighton, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, they would stand zero chance. Absolutely zero chance. Because they can't compete with your Chelseas, with your Arsenals, with your Manchester United, your Manchester City, etc. Then they just couldn't compete. The money that these teams rake in, it would be totally unfair. And the warning they got years ago, plus the fine, meant nothing. Some of those teams, they pay out in player wages more than the fine was. It was absolutely atrocious. And at the time when all this happened, our club, Newcastle United, were meant to wait a full 18 months before the Premier League turned around and says the deal can go through. But it was going through with assurances, which is what is kind of paying off Manchester City, because they want more money, they want more greed. The end result is those teams who want to form this new league, and don't say to me it won't happen, because money has a funny way of talking, and that's the point. Money talks, and there's an old saying, money talks and bullshit walks. Now, I said at the time that for it to actually properly work, they would need to have the stadiums of said teams rebuilt, and rebuilt to a standard of 100,000 sitting inside these said stadiums. And everybody laughed. Well, here's the thing. It never truly went away. It was just whispered. And at the moment, as the 23-24 season has gone, we finished 7th. Some teams, your Manchester Uniteds, they have to wait to see what UEFA say, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the 27% owner, he has to wait to see, because Nice, the club he bought, are also in the Champions League. Other clubs, Manchester City, have a number of clubs around the world, multi-club. So there is a danger, and the danger is the end of our Premier League. And where that comes from is the European Super League, with 6 teams from England and other teams from Spain, from France, from Italy, from Germany and beyond joining up for that. Lots of it. TV deals worked out with big TV companies. Trophies having to be designed for the winners. And then you've got, on top of that, having to rebuild their stadiums to meet 100,000 capacity. So these are all things which they are potential, because this is what they want. They want to have a guaranteed massive income, and they want to be able to pluck players from wherever and give them obscene pay packets. And who pays for it at the end of the day? The fans. So that's the bombshell. And I predicted that long before I placed a £10 win on Newcastle finishing top 4. Long before. But what do you care at the end of the day? I'm just the tiny little channel on YouTube. Well, here's the thing. If this comes true and Manchester City win and our Premier League is obliterated, what next? Because before the Premier League came about, we had 1, 2, 3, and then we had the lower leagues, including the conference, grassroots football. And it's disheartening. It very much is disheartening, knowing that greed is overtaken. Clubs aren't happy because they can't spend what they want. Even our club, we're being told now we have to sell players. Those players who were on holiday, they're going to be worried, they're going to be concerned that what they have put down in the season just gone means that, because it's now a case that we have to sell, as long as the other clubs, which I mentioned earlier, they also have to sell. Like the first one I mentioned, Chelsea. You see, years and years ago, when Roman Abramovich did the deal with Ken Bates, nothing was said. Not a dicky bird. And from that, you had the other deal which was Abu Dhabi buying into a Manchester club. Then you had the other one, which was the other club in Manchester being bought out by the Glaziers. And what did the Glaziers do? They contacted the stock exchange in America. And they put the club into debt. Massive, huge debt. Which, to be honest, it still hasn't been paid off. Because they only care about that. You had all that furore with, who is it? The sheikh, who is supposed to be going to take the club over. Hence a Jim. The only thing is, it might come to nothing. Even his 27% stake and being in control of football related activities. It's similar to him turning round and wanting our Dan Ashworth and then complaining because we were asking for compensation. So football right now, before the Euros even kick off, they're a bloody mess. Why? Greed. So think about that when you go to bed tonight. About the fact that our Premier League, we may never be able to claim that title. Because if this court case goes in their favour, it's going to shatter the rule book, throw it out the window at high speed. And then on top of that, well, you've got 6 teams who want to play in elite football closed shop, which they have said they will rewrite the rules for that so teams can come in. But at what cost? Thanks for watching, and if you like my video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe and spread the word. See, I may be the tiniest channel on YouTube, but I give a Geordie's opinion. Because that club up there, even though I didn't go to that club the whole of last season, that's where it is. It's in my heart. I'm branded on the arm with my tattoo. So it means a lot. And I don't like this news. Because it means basically our chances of winning the Premier League, well, there might not be a Premier League. Take that and think of what you will. Give me your opinion. Because at the moment, it feels as though football is going backwards in time. And that ain't good news. Thanks for watching.